Sunny Hostin, a longtime
From
co-host,
sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in sunny Hostin.
recently found herself at the center of a controversy that has ignited debates about hypocrisy, accountability, and the complexity of historical identity. Her appearance on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to uncovering the family histories of celebrities, took an unexpected turn when it was revealed that her ancestors were not just ordinary immigrants or oppressed minorities, but in fact slave owners. This revelation came as a shock, not only to Sunny herself, but to viewers who have followed her public journey as a vocal critic of systemic racism. Known for her passionate takes on race and identity politics, Sunny has built her career on challenging societal inequities, often with a moral certainty that leaves little room for compromise. However, the revelation about her family's past has opened her up to widespread criticism, with many accusing her of failing to address her own historical ties to the very injustices she condemns. The episode of Finding Your Roots began like any other, with genealogist Henry Louis Gates Jr. guiding Sunny through the intricacies of her family tree. As the details of her ancestry were revealed, Sunny appeared confident and ready to embrace whatever the research might uncover. However, the moment the truth came to light, that her family included Spanish slave owners, her demeanor changed. Sunny appeared visibly uncomfortable, blinking in shock as she tried to process the information. Her reaction was subdued, with a brief acknowledgement that this was interesting for her children to learn, but the discomfort in the room was palpable. Sunny attempted to downplay the revelation, describing it as a fact of life and something that reflected how people historically made a living. However, this reaction fell flat for many viewers who felt that her response lacked the depth and introspection expected from someone in her position. Social media platforms quickly lit up with commentary, memes, and satire, with users pointing out the irony of Sunny's connection to a legacy of oppression. Many joked about her newfound ties to slave ownership, while others criticized her for failing to use the moment to spark a meaningful conversation about the complexities of identity and history. Among those who weighed in was Greg Gutfeld, host of Gutfeld, on Fox News, who didn't hold back in his critique. Gutfeld, known for his sharp wit and no-holds-barred commentary, used the incident as an opportunity to call out what he saw as hypocrisy on Sunny's part. He highlighted the irony of someone who has made a career out of condemning systemic racism, discovering that her own family benefited from the system she criticizes. Gutfeld's audience responded with laughter and applause as he broke down the layers of what he described as Sunny's lack of accountability. For Gutfeld,
Fact of life. Interesting change of tune. For more, we go to our chief Sunny Hostin correspondent for a reaction.
heavily into identity politics, creating an environment where moral superiority takes precedence over nuanced discussion. Sunny's response to her family history, Gutfeld suggested, was emblematic of this larger trend, a focus on pointing fingers at others while failing to apply the same critical lens to oneself. The internet's reaction mirrored Gutfeld's critique, with many users expressing disbelief at Sunny's handling of the situation. One of the most viral memes featured a mock image of Sunny writing herself a reparations check, a satirical jab at her history of advocating for reparations while now grappling with her family's ties to slavery. While some fans came to her defense, arguing that no one should be held accountable for their ancestors' actions, others felt that her lack of reflection was a missed opportunity to address the complexities of history and accountability. Sunny's co-hosts on The View appeared to tread lightly on the topic, avoiding direct discussion of the incident. This silence only added to the perception that the show, which often prides itself
Hostin's obsession with race gets thrown back in her.
in such a controversial context. Behind the scenes, the tension was reportedly noticeable, with even Whoopi Goldberg, known for her sharp humor, opting not to make light of the situation. Critics argue that Sunny's response to the revelation lacked the self-awareness and humility necessary to turn the moment into a teachable experience. Rather than brushing it off as an interesting tidbit for her children to learn, she could have used her platform to discuss the ways history shapes identity and the importance of confronting uncomfortable truths. For many, her failure to do so highlighted a disconnect between her public persona and her personal actions. The controversy also reignited broader debates about how society should approach historical accountability. Should individuals like Sunny, who frequently condemn others for their ancestors' actions, be held to the same standards? Or is it enough to acknowledge the past without letting it define one's present identity? These questions have sparked heated discussions across social media, with opinions divided along ideological lines. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the role of identity politics in shaping public discourse. Gutfeld and other critics argue that an overemphasis on race and identity can oversimplify nuanced issues, reducing them to binaries of good versus bad or oppressed versus oppressor. Sunny's handling of her family history, they suggest, exemplifies the pitfalls of this approach, where the focus on external blame leaves little room for personal accountability. This incident has also raised questions about the broader implications for public figures who build their careers on advocating for justice and equity. Sunny's reaction to her family history has been scrutinized not just as an individual failing, but as a reflection of a larger cultural dynamic in which public figures are often held to impossibly high standards of consistency and accountability. Despite the backlash, Sunny's position on The View and her influence as a cultural commentator remain significant. Whether this controversy will have lasting repercussions for her career or simply serve as a temporary blip in the news cycle remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that the incident has provided fodder for critics and comedians alike, ensuring that it will be remembered as a cautionary tale about the dangers of self-righteousness and the importance of introspection. Ultimately, the controversy surrounding Sunny Hostin's family history serves as a reminder of the complexities of identity and the enduring impact of history. It challenges individuals and society alike to grapple with the uncomfortable truths of the past while striving for a more just and equitable future. For Sunny, this moment represents both a challenge and an opportunity to demonstrate the self-awareness and humility that many feel was lacking in her initial response. As the discussions continue, the incident will undoubtedly remain a talking point in debates about race, accountability, and the role of public figures in shaping cultural narratives. Whether Sunny chooses to engage with these issues more deeply or move on without further acknowledgement, her handling of this revelation will likely influence how she is remembered in the broader conversation about justice and equity. What do you think about Sunny Hostin's response to discovering her family's history? Should public figures be held accountable for how they address their ancestors' actions, or is it unfair to judge someone for the past? How do you feel about the role of identity politics in shaping public conversations like this one? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth discussions, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest stories. Stay tuned.